Hello, everyone, and welcome to 100% Chelsea. Today, we are back for another episode of Daily Blues. Sorry that I did miss it yesterday. I was at work. Today, we have Oren, as always. Oren, would you like to say hello?
Hey, guys. It's the Ginger Jim right here, back with your daily transfer news for Daily Blues.
Supplying as always, we can always rely on Oren. Also, new face here, we have Ben.
Hello.
You guys said with Derek that you like the idea of having a neutral on the channel. So Ben, he's not a Chelsea fan. He doesn't really follow English football as much as he does other leagues. He's more of a European football fan. So this is a really sort of diverse view to have on the channel. So hopefully it should be a good, refreshing outlook for you guys and you do enjoy it. Anyway, the biggest topic for Chelsea at the moment, especially today, Alessandre Pato, done deal, on loan until the end of the season. There are other things that we can comment on this later. For example, what will happen with Remy, what will happen with Falcao. Oren, give me your brief opinion on what you think of Pato and whether or not you think it's a good sign until the end of the season. It is fairly low risk, but will it be enough?
Like I said before, I don't agree with the signing, but I hope he comes good. But I'm willing to give him a chance. Give him a chance at the end of the season. If he does well, I'll obviously, hold my hand up and say, well done, and hopefully we'll give him a contract.
Yeah, I mean, I personally hope he does start on Sunday. I will be at the game. Both me and Ben are going. We will also be doing the interviews after. I'll be doing the interviews for the first time on the channel, which I'm looking forward to. If any of you are there, make sure to meet us. I will be tweeting out on the channel where we will be. It will sort of just be right outside the stadium, so make sure to do an interview. Look forward to seeing you there. But Ben, Alessandre Pato, what do you think of him? It's a done deal now, on loan until the end of the season, so it's not permanent. Low risk, but obviously he is very injury prone.
Yeah, see, it's low risk, which is good, but I don't rate him very much. He's a bit of a free agent because he moves around. He's always been on loan, so I can't really have an opinion. So hopefully for Chelsea, he sort of does a bit better than Falcao.
Do you think he's much of an improvement on Falcao?
No.
No?
Honestly, no, but he could be. I'm not going to have like a strong opinion, but because he could be better than Falcao. But at the moment, I don't think he's much of an improvement.
He's got a very similar story in the sense that they have been on loan a few times. Their form isn't so great. They're both very injury prone.
Yeah.
But they're two very different players. Pato plays a very different style of football with Falcao. He's obviously a lot faster. Do you think that's going to bring something new to the team that could maybe give Chelsea that edge they haven't really had this season going up front?
Yeah, I think it can, because obviously I haven't been watching loads of Chelsea games, but seeing the results, yeah, they definitely need to change something, and maybe that is what they need to change. Maybe play a bit more attacking. I'm not sure they defend a lot now, and it might help. As
the comments are saying here, do you think he should start on Sunday? I mean, I personally think he should. I think it is unfair for Remy not to start, but as I said, we'll get onto him earlier and what's going to happen with him. But do you see Pato starting on Sunday?
I think it'd be good to see him start on Sunday, but I don't think he will. He might play a little bit near the end, I reckon.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Oren, what about you? Do you reckon he'll start on Sunday?
I don't, possibly. Like Ben said, I think he might get a little time at the end, but I don't think he'll start. I know it's only MK Dons, but we'll introduce him slowly into the game. Maybe give him the last 15-20 minutes.
There is talks here about Bamford starting on Sunday. Who do you think deserves it more? Obviously, Bamford has been on loan to Crystal Palace, has been recalled. Obviously, didn't really get much game time there, so it would be nice to see him play on Sunday ahead of someone that has literally just been brought in and play instantly. I think it's unfair on someone like Bamford not to be given a chance. I see Pato maybe coming on off the bench, but Bamford should definitely get some game time. Anyway, that brings us very, very nicely onto the next story, which is Patrick Bamford to Norwich on loan. Oren, tell us more.
Yeah, it looks like Patrick Bamford will be going on loan to Norwich in the coming days, and this is why I don't think he will have a part on Sunday, because FIFA regulations state that they can't play for 3 clubs within the same season. Patrick, and then if he played on Sunday, he could no longer go on loan because he's already played for Palace or under 21s, and then the next team he plays for. But I think the Norwich move will be a better loan for him, because when he went to Crystal Palace, you knew he was going to be down the pecking order. As in, I don't really rate these strikers, but you had Fraser Campbell in front of him. and you had Conor Wickham in front of him, and then he was third in the pecking order already. At Norwich, there's maybe one or two. There's maybe one or two that are in front of him. But I think he'd get.
Just brought Stephen Naismith as well, remember? So I see Stephen Naismith being ahead of Bamford, especially if it's on loan.
Well, I say he might be second choice striker if he can perform. But if he doesn't perform within the next straight away or the next 1 or 2 games, he'll lose his place because Norwich need an impact now because they are struggling to survive in this league.
Definitely. I mean, I did predict earlier on in the season that this would be the year that they do get relegated more or less instantly after coming up. But I'd like to think someone like Bamford has what it takes to give that team that competitive edge to maybe stay up. And if he does, then hopefully we'll see him starting off Chelsea next season once Pato'S loan has expired. Whether or not he is then signed on a permanent, we don't know because he still is only 26, so he is still fairly young. But anyway, next one, I'm going to give this to Ben because, as I said, Ben supports European football, so he knows quite a lot about this guy. He especially follows Spanish football, so that's perfect. Jimenez to Chelsea, the centre-back from Atletico Madrid, Uruguayan. What do you make of the guy? And do you think that not only would he be a good sign of Chelsea, but after the season that Chelsea are having, and with the fact that it's looking unlikely we'll get European football, do you see this happening, especially with their transfer ban now?
Right, I'll start off with how I rate. I think he's a very, very good player. I'd say he could be one of the best young defenders in European football. I'm not sure that's like a big statement, but I think he's better than Varane, who I think is a very, very good defender, and he's young as well. So Jimenez won La Liga in 2013 to 2014, and he played a key role in that. He was a great defender and generally just good all round. And to go to Chelsea would be a massive. I think that would be great to be at Chelsea because he's so young and he's such a good defender. And
do you think Chelsea have what it takes to sign a player like that, considering we don't have the attraction of European football now? Or do you think he'd be better off staying there?
Well, you say you don't have the attraction of European football, but Chelsea is still a big club, and I'm sure he might think that helped develop his career by moving from Spanish football to Premier League. I can't really.
Yeah, I mean, especially for a centre back, the Spanish league is very different to the Premier League, so it is a big transition for him. I mean, we've seen other players struggle, such as Nicolas Otamendi. He hasn't quite made the impact that a lot of people thought he would when moving to City from Valencia. He was a big player in that league, and a lot of people thought he was going to make a massive impact to City, especially for 32 million. But we haven't quite seen that. It is a very different transition. So hopefully someone like Jimenez does have that potential. He is only 21 years old. He has got a lot of appearance for the national side, which means that, he's used to playing in big games. He's played in the Champions League before. I do think the transfer ban is going to have a lot on this. So the fact that Atletico Madrid realistically aren't going to be able to replace him. He is a first-team starter, and he is playing more and more first-team football. So considering they won't be able to replace him until next summer, I believe it is, or next January, one or two, I think that's going to have a big say in it. And not only will it be difficult to sign him, I also think that will have to be a lot of money put into that transfer in order to lure him away from Atletico Madrid and make sure they're willing to make the deal. Oren, have you got anything to say about him?
I'd agree with Ben. Yeah, he's a very good player. As I've seen, I wouldn't watch as much Spanish football as him, but I watch enough to know that Jimenez is an excellent player. And I don't think he could be sold now, because Atletico and Real their bans haven't been kicked in. So he could be moved on, as in he will be a high price, because usually players from Atletico Madrid are, because they are one of the smaller, not the smaller teams, but team that can't compete with Barcelona and Real Madrid, so they need the injection of cash. I would price him at about 20 to 30 million, and yeah, I think he would be a good fit for Chelsea because he's young, he's an international centre back, and I don't really have anything else to say. I'm sorry, but because I said, I don't see a lot of him, but I see enough to know that he could do well for us.
Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. I'm looking through the comments now. A lot of people are talking about Miazga. I know, I'm going to be honest, I know fuck all about the guy. I know that he plays in the MLS. I know that he's like Polish or something. I haven't really gone out and learned much more about him. I've been quite busy recently. A lot of people seem to be quite keen on the idea of him signing, from what I'm reading here. Some people, it seems like a lot of fans are sort of from one extremity to the other. They either think he's got a lot of potential, he's going to be a quality signing, or they think he's just a stupid signing. Personally, not knowing anything about the guy, that instantly says nothing but bad things to me, and that's purely for the fact that with the state we're in, I think we need to sign big players who have proven that they can play in big games, players who have proven at the top level that they can perform. And I don't think he is one of them, considering we haven't really heard his name. He's not been on fire. But anyway, signing younger players can be good, and someone like this who apparently has bags of potential, is big, strong, fast, could be good for us. I mean, especially with defenders, it has worked with us before. Do you think he'd be a good signing? I haven't really heard much about him. Are you able to tell me and some of the guys watching more about him?
Like yourself, all I know he's Polish. He has a Polish passport, so there's no need for a work permit. I think they were saying he made 28 appearances last year and has scored one goal. But he does at the moment he does play for the national team, so that does show you something. That US national team is pretty good, as we saw from their displays at the World Cup. Like yourself, I do not know much about Miazga, but I hope he's not another Emanalo signing. I hope he'll be brought up and into the first team and be a leader like John Terry or something like that. But I'm very optimistic, and I do think he's just another signing that we'll never see again. He'll be pushed out on loan like the rest of them, and we'll sell him for profit.
Completely agree. The only difference that I see about this guy compared to someone like Digital Boji is that his name is being linked with us due to the fact that he has potential. Whereas with Digital Boji, which is possibly one of the more stupid signings we have ever made, his name wasn't really out there. It was more of just like a panic buy, we need a spare centre-back on the bench sort of buy, whereas this guy is actually known to have some form of potential, is known to have a bright future ahead of him, has played for his country, could actually do something for us in future years. But as I said, I think we need to build on now rather than building in the future. Whereas last season, building for the future was what we needed. But we've taken so many steps back in this season that we definitely need to try and take a few steps forward and focus on the short term rather than long term. It's not the right time. Anyway, next up is the Italy manager, Conte, I believe it is said. He is linked with signing for Chelsea. I don't know much about the guy. My knowledge on sort of national team football isn't so great. Obviously, I watch the World Cup, Euros, whatever, but especially with the Italian national team, I'm not too well known with it. I do think it is risky having a manager who has managed the national team for quite a while manage a club team, as it is so very different. Obviously, you've got to think about signings and stuff like that that national teams, team managers don't necessarily have to worry about. So it will be a big transition for him. But do you think he has the potential to be a quality Premier League manager, which is the main part?
100%. Up until 2 years ago, he was managing the Juventus team, who have, let's face it, taken over Italian football. And he's brought through some good players and brought them onto the world stage, like Arturo Vidal, who he bought from Leverkusen and turned him into the player he is today, playing for Bayern Munich. He took Pogba's game to the next level. I think he would be a good. I think he'd be a good manager for Chelsea, because he's been a serial winner. Other than the World Cup in Brazil, he's a serial club winner. So I think he could be a good fit for Chelsea.
Definitely. I'm reading a lot of comments now. There's one here that's quite funny. It says Ben is falling asleep. You can't even say about that.
Yeah. Well, I came up from Devon today on the train. I've literally been travelling all day, and I'm so tired. And literally, the bag's into my eyes. I'm so tired, and there's only 3 of us. So I thought I'd get on just to help these two out.
That's from Adam Khan. And also a lot of people are talking about MK. I see some of you guys having like a mini debate in the comment section there. Tomorrow, something big. We're going to have another stream. But obviously, as you guys know, I do live in Milton Keynes. So I've got a lot of friends that I go to sixth form with that are MK fans, which means that we're going to get them on the stream. Then we'll be either one or two of them. Louis should be on, Dan should be on. So basically, we're just going to have a big debate. It's going to be focused a lot about your comments. That's going to be our preview. Should be a very good in-depth video for you guys. So I hope you enjoy that. There's a lot coming on that tomorrow. Next up, anyway, Sadio Mane, the Southampton forward. This could be quality, in my opinion. I rate this guy very highly to Chelsea. This excites me. This is one of the few transfers that we've actually been linked with that has actually excited me, and that's rare. I mean, this January, we haven't really been linked with any names that you think, okay, like I see that being a good signing for us. Whereas Sadio Mane, he may not be the most consistent as such, as he does have off patches, as does every striker realistically. But when he's on top of his game, he is deadly in front of goal, and I think this could be the type of striker we need. Perfect striker off the bench. So he's got strength, he's got pace, he's got that finish. There's none of that fussy football that a lot of modern day footballers have, where they can't quite cut it in the Premier League. This guy has proven, and to me, it could be a quality signing. Oren, what do you think about this?
I totally agree with you. I think Sadio Mane would be a great striker to have at the club. He's fast. He's a proven goal scorer of this league. He's been scoring against the big teams. Your Arsenals, your Manchester Uniteds, but his price tag is kind of worrying me. As in, like, no, well, not worrying me, but I think it's a bit too much. They're asking for 40 million, and it's reported that Bayern Munich are also interested in him as well. But I think we can get him. I think we can get him, and if we do get him, he'll be a really good signing for us, because he can, like I was saying, he can score goals and he's really quick. I think it's just someone we need. That type of player we need right now. Someone who's quick and who can, like, run his heart out for the whole game. Because, like, Costa's not that type of player. Costa's a bully. He will fight for every ball. Mane was someone you can just put a through ball into it, he'll run onto it and stick it into the back of the net. I think it could be a great sign for Chelsea.
Definitely. Completely agree with everything that you said there. How much was it that you said he was going to cost? Sorry.
Southampton are looking for 40 million for him.
40 million?
Yeah.
So realistically, to sign someone like that, we are going to need to sell someone, which this is all tied in very nicely. Brings us on to Remy. Obviously, it has sort of circled around, because then that could bring us on to Pato. So yeah, Remy linked with Leicester. Could you tell me the price that they're willing to pay for him? Sorry.
It's looking at, could be Leicester's record ever transfer fee of 11.5 million.
11.5 million, which I think we paid, was it 8.5 or 10.5 for him?
Yeah, it's somewhere between that. I think it was a more nearer to 10.5. But
yeah,
look, it's a profit, so.
Yeah, I mean, in the few years that he has been at the club, he has put a lot in. He hasn't quite had the opportunities that a lot of fans hoped for him to get. Last season, when he did play, when Costa was injured, he looked quality. He was a goal-scoring threat. However, in my opinion, this season he has been under par. He's not been given enough chances to start with, but the chances that he has been given, I say this more or less every stream, the chances that he has been given, he just hasn't been good enough. He looks clumsy on the ball. He just doesn't look like the kind of player that we saw last season. He's not deadly in front of goal. He just seems like his confidence has just completely dropped, which is unfortunate to see, because, as I said, he was at one point one of the deadliest strikers in the Premier League. So it will be a shame to see him go. 11.5 million is not bad. As you said, we will be making a very slight profit, but you've got to think Leicester are above us in the league. They are challenging, like, realistically, whether or not you like it, they are challenging for the title. People think they're going to drop. People thought they'd be long gone by now, but they are challenging for the title. We can't shy away from that. They're up there, and as long as they're up there, they're challenging. Realistically, top four is probably what they're looking for more, because that's more of a realistic target. But we can't ignore the fact that 11.5 million, a player who has so much influence to us, on the sense that then we'd purely be left with Pato because Falcao's literally spends most of his time in the hospital. And what he's going to give Leicester could be so damaging. But if we were to let go of him and bring in someone like Sadio Mane, I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world. But the gap in the cost of them players is just too much for it to happen, in my opinion. So ideally, I'd like Remy to stay, but I'm sure that he'd like to be on his way out, especially with the signing of Pato now having the fourth striker at Chelsea.
Yeah, I think he's on his way out myself. I think he'll be on his way out myself because I can see him getting more game time at Leicester with the way Kyrie likes to change his team every now and again. But I still don't think it's the right decision to sell him, considering Remy is still a brilliant striker. As in, yes, he's not been on top of his game this year, but I still think he's a much better striker than Pato. But it looks like he will be leaving, and I hope he does well at Leicester, and I hope he wins the league.
Yeah, as always on this channel, if any players ever leave Chelsea, we always wish them the best. Chelsea fans are actually very good at that. Unlike Arsenal fans, I'm going to give a little dig there. They boo at their players quite a lot, whereas it's very rare that you see Chelsea players do that. So that does make me proud. But obviously, as we all know, there are moments of being a Chelsea fan that we may not be proud of, such as what we saw in Munich, what we've seen in Paris. But yeah, I think what we showed to some of our former players is very nice. And I can say personally, for the whole Chelsea fan base as well, we do wish him the best luck if he is to go same as we do for Ramirez, who has now left for 25 mil, which actually could go towards the Sadio Mane fund, thinking about it, if we had to sign something like that. But yeah, those have been the transfer rumours for today. Join us tomorrow for the MK Dons preview. You should be very excited with better streams this month, hopefully. I've been Max. Ben has been Ben. We both run a channel called The 12th Man. You've seen Derek on it. As I've said, it's us three. There will be a link in the description. Give a quick description of the channel. Go on.
I'm half here, I'm half, I don't know. Right, so they do football reviews, everything to do with football.
Yep, FIFA, everything. Hopefully you enjoy it. We have got Q&A coming out this weekend. I've put a video out asking for your guys' questions. So even if you don't go and subscribe, just go and leave us a question. It can be anything. Try and ask about other clubs as well as Chelsea, though. That would be really good, just so we have like a neutral opinion on things. That's what we love on the channel. It's for all fans, neutral channel. Hopefully you enjoy it. Anyway, Oren, over to you. Give us your Twitter.
Yeah, my Twitter is, like always, @Tully_Oren.
Definitely follow him, deserves more followers. Tweet some quality stuff about Chelsea. Oh, keep dropping my pen. Good updates on there, so definitely go and follow him. Anyway, this has been 100% Chelsea. Please like, comment and subscribe. All social media links will be in the description. This has been the transfer rumours for today, the 28th of January, I believe. Goodbye.